I seem to recall that a while back I made a video taking a look at the 7 youngest players at Euro 2004, which included legends of the game such as Wayne Rooney and Cristiano Ronaldo. That tournament was 16 years ago now, so one would expect all those players to either have retired or be winding down their playing days, with the exception of Ronaldo, since he is a freak and is clearly made out of metal and electricity rather than flesh and bones, thus allowing him to still jump 17 feet in the air, even at the age of 53. Euro 2008 was a little more recent, 4 years to be precise, so the players in this 7 ought to be in their early 30s. I must admit that I was a little surprised by how old the 7 youngest players were from this tournament, if that makes any sense, with only one teenager having got any game time at the finals in Austria and Switzerland, which is quite different to 2004. Just so that we are all on the same page, these are the 7 youngest players to have featured at Euro 2008, ordered from oldest to youngest. There may have been 1 or 2 younger players who went to the finals but didn't get any game time, such as Rui Patricio, but to be honest, even they are few and far between. For the most part, it's the same 7, but to avoid any confusion, I'm only including players who actually played. Here are the 7 youngest players at Euro 2008. Where are they now? Martin HARNIK, TUS Dassendorf. The 7th youngest player to get on the pitch at Euro 2008, Martin HARNIK, was just 2 days shy of his 21st birthday when he started for the hosts Austria in their opening game in Vienna against Croatia. HARNIK was actually born in Hamburg and has never even lived in Austria, but qualified to represent them through his father. Austria pounced whilst HARNIK was still young, bringing him into their under-19 team in 2006. HARNIK began his career in the amateur ranks in Hamburg, but following 14 goals in his first 10 senior appearances as an 18-year-old, he was snapped up by Werder Bremen. When Euro 2008 came around, HARNIK had still only played 14 games for Werder, but the Austria squad was not as strong as it had been previously, or has become since. HARNIK started in all 3 group games, 2 at centre forward and 1 on the right wing, but the joint hosts failed to win a game and were dumped out at the earliest possible opportunity. Renowned for his versatility, HARNIK could never nail down a spot at Werder Bremen, and he ended up dropping into the second Bundesliga on loan with Fortuna Düsseldorf. Stints at Hanover and most notably Stuttgart followed before HARNIK returned to Werder in 2018. He only left the club in the summer just gone, taking a huge drop down into Germany's 5th tier to sign for TUS Dassendorf, still aged only 33. HARNIK went on to win 65 caps for Austria, scoring 15 goals in the process. Sebastian Prodl, UDINESE. We don't even have to depart the Austria squad as we move from 7th to 6th place, since Martin HARNIK wasn't the youngest man in Josef Hickersberger's squad at Euro 2008. That title goes to Sebastian Prodl, who is 11 days younger than HARNIK. A more familiar face to followers of only the Premier League, Prödl spent 5 seasons with Watford between 2015 and 2020, during which time he made almost 80 appearances in the Premier League. A towering, powerful centre-back, Prödl already stood at 6'5" tall when he headed to the Euros with Austria as a 20-year-old. He started in 2 out of Austria's 3 group games in what was actually a fairly sturdy defence, let down by the team's inability to find the back of the net. As soon as the tournament came to an end, Prödl joined his international teammate Martin HARNIK at Werder Bremen in a €2.5 million move. Following 7 years with the Bundesliga side, Prödl signed for Watford on a free transfer in 2015. He won the Hornets 2016-17 Player of the Season award, but has been pretty much ravaged by injuries ever since. That has also restricted him to 73 caps for Austria, and the 33-year-old recently signed for Italian outfit Udinese, who, like Watford, are owned by the Pozzo family. Samir Nasri, free agent. France were an absolute mess at Euro 2008. Despite having a squad that could boast the likes of Claude Makélélé, Patrick Vieira, Franck Ribéry and Thierry Henry. Even with that glittering array of talent, France finished bottom of their group, behind Romania, in a classic Les Bleus disaster class. Although I suppose I can't say anything as an Englishman, since we didn't even qualify for that tournament. France also had one of the youngest squads at the finals, including 20-year-old Marseille midfielder Samir Nasri. A tremendously gifted flair player with bags of invention, Nasri came on as a substitute in France's first and third group games. In their final group game against Italy, Nasri was introduced after 10 minutes in place of an injured Franck Ribéry, before being withdrawn after just 26 minutes due to an Eric Abidal red card. It might have been a debut tournament to forget, but it was still a memorable summer for Nasri, as he made a £14 million move to Arsenal shortly after the tournament came to an end. Nasri spent 3 excellent seasons at the Emirates before becoming one of a handful of Gunners to leave North London in favour of the newfound wealth of Manchester City. The Frenchman experienced mixed fortunes at the Etihad, although he did get his hands on 2 Premier League titles. It has been downhill ever since for the 33-year-old, who has 41 caps for Les Bleus to his name, with the autumn of his career having been dogged by scandal and difficult spells at Sevilla, Antalyaspor, West Ham and Anderlecht. Karim Benzema, Real Madrid. Consecutive Austrians are followed by consecutive Frenchmen in this 7, with almost exactly 6 months separating Karim Benzema and Samir Nasri's dates of birth. Benzema went into the tournament as one of the hottest prospects in French football, having just scored 31 goals in a single season for Lyon. He started France's first and last group games alongside Nicolas Anelka in the first and Thierry Henry in the second, but as Les Bleus chopped and changed, neither partnership ever really clicked. Indeed, Benzema himself, despite having had a truly outstanding career, never really clicked at international level. During his 4 major tournaments, France never got beyond the quarter-final stage, and as soon as Didier Deschamps dumped him, France reached the final at Euro 2016 and then won the World Cup in 2018. I'm not suggesting that is because they didn't have Benzema for the record, but it's an unwanted record for such an outstanding player. His final international game came in 2015, just before he was accused of blackmailing fellow international Mathieu Valbuena. Benzema has been very critical of senior officials in FFF and of Didier Deschamps, but throughout his international career, he stated that he picked France for sporting reasons and that he was Algerian at heart. At club level, it's been a totally different tale. Benzema has won it all and been the uber professional for Real Madrid, having scored more than 250 goals for the club in total. NIKOLA KALINIC, Hellas Verona. Exactly 10 days younger than Karim Benzema when he made his first appearance at Euro 2008, NIKOLA KALINIC had only won 1 cap for Croatia before being included in Slavan Bilic's squad for the finals. A bit of a wildcard inclusion, Kalinic was one of only 3 players in the Croatia squad that was playing domestically at the time, and the only one of those 3 who didn't play for Dinamo Zagreb. Kalinic had come through the youth ranks at HITC Split, and in the 2007-08 campaign, he scored 26 goals in only 36 games for the club. That was enough to convince Bilic that he was worthy of taking to the finals, although he would only play 15 minutes of football. Kalinic came on as a substitute in Croatia's final group game as Bilic's men topped their group, but they were beaten by Turkey in the quarter-finals. 12 months on, Kalinic joined Blackburn Rovers for £6 million. He showed glimpses of his talent but could never really string it all together in the Premier League before being signed by a now-defunct Ukrainian outfit, Dnipro. Following plenty of goals in Ukraine, Kalinic starred for Fiorentina in Serie A, as well as enjoying spells with Roma, AC Milan and Atletico Madrid. Aged 32 and now capped 42 times by Croatia, Kalinic joined Hellas Verona in the summer, who are managed by fellow Croatian Ivan Juric. Ivan Rakitic, Sevilla. It's an unusual coincidence that the pattern of this 7 featured a duo of Austrians, a couple of Frenchmen, and now a pair of Croatians, but that's just the way it has turned out. Ivan Rakitic was the second youngest player to play any football at Euro 2008, and also the most impressive player at the finals that features in this 7. Rakitic turned 20 a few months before the tournament began, and he had just enjoyed an impressive debut campaign with Schalke. The former Basel man, who represented Switzerland at youth level, having been born there, but chose to represent Croatia at senior level in 2007. He missed out on Slavan Bilic's starting 11 due to Croatia's strength in the middle of the park, but he started every other game out wide on the left flank, and made a big impression. Rakitic spent another 2.5 years at Schalke before being signed by Sevilla. In 2014, Rakitic made a big money move to Barcelona as the team looked to replace the combination of Xavi and Iniesta. He won 13 trophies in just 6 seasons at the Camp Nou, during which time he also reached the World Cup final with Croatia in 2018. In total, Rakitic has won 106 caps for Croatia, and he recently caused some surprise by retiring from international football. As well as retiring from international football, the 32-year-old also left Barcelona in the summer, sealing a return to his old club Sevilla. EREN DERDIYOK, PAKHTAKOR Tashkent. Forget about nobodies like Karim Benzema and Ivan Rakitic, who have fluttered their careers away with tin pot outfits in La Liga. In top spot, we come to one of the game's true titans, who now plays his football in Uzbekistan. I jest, of course, since EREN DERDIYOK has actually had a very good career, and as someone who makes YouTube videos for a living, I'm hardly in any position to mock an international footballer for never having won the Champions League. DERDIYOK was the only teenager to go to Euro 2008, and naturally, the only one to play at the finals as well. He came on as a substitute for Switzerland just 6 minutes from time in both the Swiss and the tournament's opener against the Czech Republic, in a fixture that came just 5 days before he turned 20. He started in Switzerland's next game against Turkey, which came just 1 day before his birthday, and by the third group game, which he also started, he had turned 20 years of age. The young forward was starring for Basel at the time, but he departed for the Bundesliga in 2009, signing for Bayer Leverkusen. He then spent 2 seasons at Hoffenheim before becoming a regular fixture in the Turkish Super League for Kasımpaşa, Galatasaray and Göztepe. Capped 60 times by Switzerland, and age 32, DERDIYOK now plays for PAKHTAKOR TASHKENT in Uzbekistan, where he has already scored 7 goals in his first 16 games. So that is it for today's video, but thank you all as ever for watching. Give us a like if you enjoyed the video, let me know your thoughts down below in the comments section, and make sure that you're subscribed and have notifications turned on for HITC Sevens, and if you're a huge fan of the channel, then you can also find me on Twitter or Instagram, where the username is just at HITC Sevens on both.